What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the weekly roundup. My name is Manny. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, all those good stuff. And I'm joined here by Nick and Carlos. How's it going, guys?
It's going great.
What's going on, everybody?
So, Nick, let us know how we can find you.
Hey guys, my name is Nick. I am the Vinyl Casket. You can find me on YouTube at the Vinyl Casket. Live stream twice a week on Twitch at Vinyl Casket, and obviously down there is my Instagram, Vinyl Casket Comics.
What's up, everybody? This is Carlos from Omni City Comics. You guys can find me on Instagram under Omni City Comics, and yeah, check me out to see my favorite covers, some reviews, and just talking comics.
All right. So, for those that don't know, what we do here is that we go through our top 3 comics of the week. And then after we talk about those, we go through like a disappointment of the week. It can be a panel, it could be a comic, it could be a cover, anything comic related, basically. And then we go reveal our favorite cover of the week, and we wrap it all up with what we're looking forward to for the next week. And so, real quick though, we are also doing a bracket. So let me remind you of my bracket so far. I've had Fantastic Four, Seven Secrets, and last week I had Supergirl number 8. Seven Secrets is seeming to be the best one so far, but we'll see by the end of the month. Nick?
So far this month, I had Moon Knight, Savage Spider-Man, issue 1, and last week was Nightwing, 89.
And for me, I've had Chicken Devil number 4, Radiant Black number 12, and last week it was Supergirl number 8. And Chicken Devil right now ended up beating out Radiant Black number 12. So we'll see how Supergirl number 8 fares against my favorite comic this week.
Okay, all right. And again, before we get started with our top 3s, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. But with that being said, let's get started. My number 3 book this week was Devil's Reign, Villains for Hire number 2, which is it's a little surprising because I've
surprising
been about it.
Very surprising.
I'll admit before you talk about it, great story, but I got problems with it.
It definitely isn't perfect, but I think the fact and like one of the main reasons I liked it was the dialogue that John Walker had, and it was so surprising that it just rocketed up to my number 3 basically.
How is that surprising? That's his whole character.
I didn't expect anything from this book. I thought it was just gonna be a filler book, and that was it, right? Yeah, no, that's my number 3. If you guys have nothing to say about it, we can move on to Nick. But yeah, Devil's Reign tie-in made a top 3.
All right. Yeah, surprising. So my number 3 of this week, we're gonna start out real strong. I just switched some things around last minute. We got issue 1 of Ghost Rider.
Oh, shit.
I've actually heard some good things this week.
Okay.
This is something that I bought based off the cover. Obviously, these guys know. You guys will surely know soon. I'm a sucker for a young cover, right?
Yep.
You got Ghost Rider riding a scooter. Like, come on. It's sick. So I didn't have any expectations from this at all. It was one of the last books that I read.
Oh.
Because I didn't care. It was just a cover book.
Mm-hmm.
So I read it, right? It's a thicker book. It's definitely above average. It's the first issue. It's setting up a new series. It's starring Johnny Blaze.
Okay. That was going to be one of my questions. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's just they set a perfect story, dude. They create this whole world, this whole scenario, and then it turns out to all be like a trap.
Yeah.
He's got this big scar on the back of his head, and like at one point there was a scene where an eye opens up in the back of the scar, and he has this family and these kids, but it's actually all these weird demons, and someone caged him in hell, and it was all like this weird scenario. They was trying to like, he was forced to live in this like weird fake world. But like now Ghost Rider's ready to go, and he's ready to fight. Who put me here? I'm actually really excited for the rest of the series. So I didn't expect that. So it made my top 3.
Nice. Yo, who's writing and who's doing the art?
It's Benjamin Percy.
Oh shit, for real?
No idea who that is.
And the main artist is Corey Smith.
Yo, that's a great team, man. All right, I gotta go back to
What
the
is
shop and pick that up, man.
what is
Cause
has Benjamin Percy written?
so recently
Wolverine,
he's
X Force.
Wolverine Exports. That
Oh, that's why I haven't heard of him. Okay, cool, cool.
that's what he's on recently. And honestly, man, they've been great. They're every issue's fun. Honestly, like every issue's fun. So yeah, man. All right, good pick, man. Good pick. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go pick it up at my shop. I like that. It's a
yeah,
good one.
it was solid. You know what? I think it was more that it surprised me than anything, that I
Okay,
wasn't expecting it to be that good. And it was a beautiful looking book, and had a really solid, interesting, unique story.
nice. And real quick is because I honestly don't remember. Is Johnny Blaze still the king of hell, or he's not? Right, because he was dethroned by uh Robbie Reyes in the Avengers, right? I think from
Yeah,
the
I
last that I
believe
remember.
so. They haven't mentioned it yet, but I'm assuming this has to do with him losing King of Hell. Is him getting
Okay.
caged up in this like weird delusion?
Hmm. Okay.
Interesting.
Nice. Gotta check it out.
Okay, what's your number 3, Carlos?
Good pick though, man. Good pick. So for me,
What?
gonna be starting off with an indie book, and number three for me is "Step by Bloody Step" by Simon Spurrier and artist Matt Lopez. And for anyone that didn't pick this up or is unfamiliar with this book, it's the entire book. There is no dialogue. But actually, I think there's like maybe two scenes where there's like a
A
couple.
foreign
Alien talk,
language.
right?
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. There's like a couple of bubbles of dialogue, but it's in an alien language, so we have no idea what they're saying. But basically, this story is about this like giant robot kind of thing, and this giant robot is protecting and traveling with this little girl, and we don't know any history about the robot, about the girl, what this journey is about. But the whole book is meant to be a visual experience, and damn, is it a visual experience. I don't think that I've ever read anything that has art by Matt Lopez, but Jesus Christ, like some of the pages and the panels of this alien world are so picturesque, and they are just absolutely beautiful. My eyes were glued to every single page. um and yeah, like it's it's one of those like comics where, again, like I mentioned, the story is pretty much told by the scenery and and just by the art. um and it seems like this robot is taking this girl on a journey through this, again, alien world, and this robot fights off all sorts of different monsters and aliens and demons. um, and they eventually even come into contact with like a tribe of people. But this like huge robot doesn't let the little girl really interact with the humans. This robot seems to be protecting her from something, and the whole point is that this robot needs to get this little girl to some sort of destination, right? I know that it sounds really vague and that there's not much to go on, but I think that as more issues are released, we're gonna get a better and clearer idea of what's going on. But I will say this: if you haven't given it a try and you want your eyes to just marvel at every single page, this is a book that you have to pick up. It's just beautiful. It really is. So
I think
that's why
it's
it's my
funny.
number three pick.
I think it's funny that you say like, you have your interpretation of this. I think it's a knight. I never thought it was of it like a robot or anything like that. But this robot
Or a night.
needs to
Yeah, I
get
mean
needs to
something.
get this little girl from one place to the other. Whereas me, I'm just like, I think they're just living life. You know what I mean? And again, there is
Yeah,
no dialogue, so everyone can interpret this however they
exactly.
want. And yeah, for sure, to make it a good story, it's gonna be like he needs to get, or he or she needs to get to this location. But we do see like some things in that little girl that's kind of a mystery. So of course,
Yeah,
like there's something going on there. Um, but yeah, I agree. Like my wallpaper is one of the images, like one of the spreads now, because it's like an alien world and it's
yeah.
beautiful colors. Matt Lopez did a great job on the art. I don't know who the colorist is. Is it Matt Lopez?
I feel bad. I actually don't know if it is Matt Lopez or not, but my bad on not giving credit to the artist. I mean to the colorist. If you can look it up right now, definitely want to give a big shout out because it's not just Matt Lopez art. It really is the colors as well. The color work on this is just phenomenal.
So
Absolutely phenomenal.
Matt Lopez is the colorist. The artist is Matthias Bergata.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah.
Got the colorist and the artist mixed up. But shout out to like the whole team, man. Yeah, just shout out to the whole team, man. And you're absolutely right. I think that everybody can interpret this book and the story in their own way. And I think that's what makes it so successful is that it allows you to evoke some kind of emotion and for you to draw your own conclusions from what you're seeing. So it's definitely a special book, you know. But yeah, that's why it's my number 3 pick, guys.
I didn't read it. I only know about it because I watched a review about it.
Yeah. What did the reviewer say?
Basically everything that you guys both said.
Okay.
He thought it was an alien robot too.
Okay. Really? I'm the only one that was like, "That's no way, it's a robot. It's just a." I honestly I interpreted it because there's a scene that happens. I don't want to really spoil it too much, but I think it's Mother Earth, like a embodiment of Mother Earth or Gaia.
I can see that.
Like that.
The guy that I watched, big shout out to Gem Mint Collectibles.
Okay.
Nice.
He was saying that it gave him like Iron Giant vibes.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh yeah, I could definitely see that. You know, in the sense of you have this again big robot that doesn't talk a lot, but you know conveys a lot of emotion in what they do and the actions that they take, and you definitely see that a couple times with the robot / knight / Mother Earth probably. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But cool issue.
Right.
Moving on to number 2.
Yep.
I got Captain Marvel 36. I had to choose Captain Marvel has just been one of those sleeper ones that just keep going. And this one really is just like it's not the conclusion of the current storyline of the last of the Marvels, but it is like the conclusion of the fight. So we get this whole big old action
of the storyline. I thought it was the last issue.
No, I think there's one more. But like again, it's just the end of the fight. And the storytelling is solid. There's nothing crazy happening other than the whole fights and stuff. But new elements are continuously getting added, and I don't feel overwhelmed by them. I don't know anything about Captain Marvel or any of the other Marvels or anything like that. Like I have almost zero knowledge of it, but I don't feel like I need to know to enjoy this story. Then also just the dialogue between the characters. Everyone just seems to like the way they speak. It seems right. There's sometimes where the writers like they just don't quite get the characters correct. Here, it's not an issue. So definitely number 2. I had a good time reading it.
It is the last of the Marvels is over.
Is it over? So the next issue is. I guess like next issue is gonna be like an epilogue or whatever. Like
kind of like that. There's like a new threat, and all these heroes have to go to Earth to save it.
Yeah, because at the very end, as like a preview to the next issue, I think that the next storyline it said like road trip or something like that.
Oh, okay. So they really just cut that short then, because
I mean,
they ended it, but not really. I didn't feel like that was a good conclusion then.
I think that there's more because Carol mentions it, but I think that we're gonna have like a brief intermission before we visit what's going on. I mean, who knows, right? But
I'm very excited to see what they do with this new binary character that's coming out of her.
It's gonna go away, man.
I gotta say that
I'm interested because I am a fan of when Carol was binary.
Yeah.
During X-Men, I believe. And I'm interested to see there's a character like again, like we just talked about a character that doesn't talk a lot, but it conveys emotion through their actions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very interested to see it develop. And even Captain Marvel in this past issue says, like, is she questioning, am I losing power by this person existing?
Yeah.
Like, is that happening? Like, I
haven't been a fan of it. I thought it was a really cool power to be like, hey, like it's just like, hey, here's a doppelganger with me. Oh, boom, it gives me like some kind of advantage during the fight, and then it comes back. That's great, but making it its own being, I'm not a fan of that. Carlos loves it, but I'm
But
not.
dude, yo,
It could be something like
I loved it.
like she
And I
created
called
her
it.
own Phoenix
I
Force.
called it.
You did call it. You did say like that. You
But
hope.
I honestly I
come out.
agreed with you when you said that, Carlos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Um,
I like the idea because and more because I like the explanation and the rationale that was given behind to why this like binary form, binary being is able to exist. The fact that it has to do with the composition of Hala and just uh, Carol's energy and all of that. I I like how they spun off this new character. No, is this character going to be interesting? Are they going to be successful? I mean, who knows? But so far, I like the idea.
but it also
It's cool.
opens up like the possibility of new storylines now.
Yeah, that's right.
Like it is a new plot point. It's how long they're gonna run into the ground, who knows? But honestly, it's
Yeah.
unique. It's new. It hasn't been done before.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree there.
Yeah, but solid, man. I think that me and you have mentioned this on past shows, but Captain Marvel has just been solid, man. Like it's been
It
fun.
hasn't gone down. It's either up or straight. Like it's just
Yeah.
it's never dipped. So
Yeah,
Okay, you ready?
let's do
let's
it.
do it, man.
Number 2, we're
All right.
going in hot, strong, fire. We got issue 2 of Ben Reilly Spider-Man, my doppelganger.
He accepted it. He accepted it.
Stop trying to
Accepted it.
make it happen, man. It's not a good book.
It is an amazing book. I don't know if you guys probably aren't reading it.
No, I am.
You are? Manny's
Yeah.
not because Manny sucks.
No. Good books only.
So first off, there's amazing variant cover, but I love this title because it's basically like little like blind spots in like the 90s continuity where Ben Reilly took over as main Spider-Man, which has happened again recently. Peter had thought that he was the clone and he had this whole traumatic life like revelation. So him and Mary Jane, go to Portland and Ben takes over as Spider-Man, thinking that he's the original Peter Parker, and has spent the last 5 years trying to erase all those memories that he had, but now he's trying to like reestablish those memories as his. So you get to see a lot of character development and self-reflection, which is really well done. He's going to this therapist that was Peter's therapist, who is working at what is the place called?
It's Ravencroft, right?
Ravencroft. Working at Ravencroft and like rehabilitating these villains, and she believes in these villains. And the guy who was like Rat Man or whatever is a doctor there now, or an assistant. And you have this really cool story where he's reflecting on himself and realizing that he might have been too harsh, and that he tries to build this relationship because he's alone. He has no friends. He has no life, no family. Aunt May's gone. Peter and Mary Jane left. Like he's got nothing. So he tries to reach out, and you see him be vulnerable. And then this guy that comes to the coffee shop he works at, he talks to every day. He comes in and he's forcing these guys to open up with him and put down their boundaries and become close and friendly. And it's so interesting. And the beginning of the issue is this huge fight with Scorpion. And Scorpion knows that Ben Reilly is Spider-Man, and how does he know? And then he's been locked up in Ravencroft the whole time. So how is that even possible? And we end the issue with Lady Octopus grabbing one of his new friends. Amazing issue. Artwork is fantastic. It's just really doing that era justice, an era that's kind of looked back as like a very complicated time period, but it's amazing artwork, amazing story, and that's why it's my number 3.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm reading it, and I gotta say, man, both issues have been enjoyable. Nothing to me personally, nothing too crazy or nothing that I see. Damn, this is mind blowing. But they're enjoyable, and they're giving a little bit more exposure to like you mentioned, who Ben was, more of that personal feelings and the emotional state that that he went through during that time period. So I really do appreciate that, and it gives a new light to the stories that were told back then. Because, like you mentioned, the whole Clone Saga era, before, like during and then after, there's either you really like it or you don't like it, right? And I feel that at least this series is again giving a little bit more context to who Ben was during that time period and what he was going through. So I can appreciate that. Both issues have been solid. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty good. I like it.
He's one of my favorite characters, and that's why I kind of say it's elevated a little higher in my list.
Yeah.
So like when it's reflected good, especially when you have like books that are reflecting him badly, like it kind of makes it stand out a little bit better. Um, Obviously, shout out to this week's issue of Amazing Spider-Man, which was pretty solid. It wasn't terrible. Wasn't amazing. It was
Mhm.
it was the just adequate Spider-Man, but yeah, I really like this. I like this time period. I love
Cool.
the costume, and it's just good. It was just enjoyable. It was fun.
Nice. Very cool.
What do you got, Manny? What are you trying to say?
I was about to say, Carlos, what's your number two? I got nothing to say about it.
Moving on. A book that has made my list before, and it shouldn't be a surprise at this point. Because dude, it's just one of the best books out. Human Target number 5 is my
Of course.
number 2 pick.
At least
It
it didn't make it number one. That's
You know what? It almost made number 1. Not gonna lie,
Mhm.
but dude, just a solid issue, and the investigation continues as far as who ended up mistakenly poisoning Christopher Chance instead of Lex Luthor, and Christopher is continuing his investigation into Justice League International, and the person that he ends up visiting this time is Martian Manhunter. And what I really like about this issue is that Tom King uses his signature nonlinear storytelling. Right? He does this a lot, and it's kind of a hit and miss sometimes. But this time it works extremely well, and the whole backdrop to this is being able to get into Martian Manhunter's mind, because he knows that Martian Manhunter is gonna try and read his mind. So you get a history into how Christopher has trained to deal with people that are telepaths, because again, his whole thing is disguising himself and making himself a target when he's protecting somebody or when he takes on a job, right? So we get,
he's a human, right?
huh?
He's just human.
He's just human. Yeah,
He's a
he
human
has.
target.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Manny.
I'm an idiot.
Sorry,
My
man, come
bad.
on.
My bad.
Come on, man.
Damn it. I'm editing that out. No.
It's in the title.
But you get a window into how Christopher trained for this, while you see the mind probe that Martian Manhunter is doing, and then at the very end, you end up seeing how Christopher ends up getting more information and to basically get further into his case, and just the pacing, the dialogue, the way that it's set up, it's just so good, man. This has been peak Tom King, along with Supergirl. This is Tom King at his best. The art continues to be absolutely wonderful. It's probably one of my favorite looking books, not just right now, but that I've read in years, man. Smallwood has been killing it. It's such beautiful art. If you guys aren't reading it, seriously, go out to your comic shop, get issue number 1, give it a try, and you're gonna see that this book is something special. It makes me care about, like I mentioned before, it makes me care about characters that I would just not have given, that I've never given a chance before. So yeah, that's why it's my number 2 pick.
I saw something about it. Like I forgot who I was listening to, but they said, like, this is kind of spoilers. You don't mind if I give spoilers uh, about Martian Manhunter, like having kind of an affair in this, and it's like,
Kind of.
he wouldn't do that, right? Like, Martian Manhunter wouldn't do something like that, and some people are upset because it's like that's not how that character is. But for this, they're gonna make it happen. And Tom King does do that a lot with a bunch of characters, like Adam Strange is one of them. Like
Yeah,
uh,
and
so.
and I can definitely see why people would be a little like uh, thrown off by Martian Manhunter getting himself into that situation. And there was an issue where that featured Guy Gardner, right? And there was a lot of people that said this isn't how Guy Gardner would act. He's an asshole, but he wouldn't do this or that. But I think that Tom King does a good job of setting up the story and making it make sense, I guess. And the situation that you see Martian Manhunter in, and why he would get it, into this predicament or kind of affair or whatever. Superheroes aren't perfect, right? And you see the kind of temptation that he's led into. It's not just some random person that he ends up, falling for. So again, if you read it, I don't want to give too much because that's part of what makes this story and this issue special, is that you get to see a lot of the flaws in some of the in some of the characters that you don't see, and it's a kind of exploration of characters that you don't see in the regular titles, right? Which is something that I appreciate. So, but yeah, just wanted to throw that out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah.
All right, so that means we're gonna go into our number ones now.
Do it.
And mine's underwhelming. I'm looking at my number one, and I'm looking at all the books that came out. Like Saga came out, Strange Academy. We had all these great books that came out, but what beat it out, number one for me, was Robin number 11.
Yo, that is a surprise.
Yeah, no.
You know what?
Great issue, by the way. Book. Great issue.
Yeah, it was a great issue. Like, it showed growth for Damian. Like, the whole little scene with him saying, like, me and my friends are gonna go get this guy, and like just him saying friends casually, and his mom like kind of being like, "What did he just say, friends?"
Yeah.
And then at the very end, where we see like, do you guys say Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul?
I say Ra's.
I say, well, I used to say Ra's al Ghul, but I started saying Ra's al Ghul after. I can't remember where I read it or what video I saw that technically it's supposed to be pronounced Ra's al Ghul. So
That's what exactly. So I pronounce it Raish, but then I'm like, it's kind of like GIF and GIF. I pronounce it GIF because that's what the creator said, and everyone gets pissed off. But I'm gonna say Raish. Ra's al Ghul just being like a loving grandfather at the end, and he's like, oh man, looks like he gets some things from his father and things like that. That was great. And then the whole Damian actually having that love interest with Flatline, but I don't know her actual name.
Yo, that kiss though.
They said her actual name in this, but I forgot. Yeah, that kiss, everything, and then his explanation for why he likes manga. Like, he's like, that's my thing. That was great. I really just
I loved that. That was awesome.
Yeah, I just appreciated the growth that Robin finally is getting. I do hope that he you know what? Forget what I hope. I just remembered the ending, and I'm very conflicted about the ending with him having a vial of the Lazarus pool, and then showing Alfred's grave. I was like, I don't want that to happen at all.
So look, I remember that I mentioned when the very first issue came out, I was like, I'm pretty sure that why Damian is doing this is because his ultimate goal, I think, really is to bring back Alfred, because he feels responsible for him dying, and
it doesn't seem like the smart. Like, you think that he learned his lesson here and he learned what he needed to learn, and then yet he's gonna be like, well, I'm gonna bring him back anyways.
Yeah, I mean,
so I'm really interested to see how this is gonna tie in to Shadow War.
Yeah,
because they started laying the groundwork in this issue with we don't get to see who it is, but Respawn revealing himself to
who do y'all think it is, by the way?
I think it's one of his original son.
Grant. You think it's Grant? Yeah. I hope it's not Grant. That's the thing. I hope it's not Grant. I don't think it's gonna be Jericho, but he's been missing. I don't know where he's been.
Actually, no, that's who it might be Jericho. It's gotta be someone.
if if fits Jericho, I think that it's gonna be. I don't know. I think that number one, it'd be a weird, build up for something so
Lame.
obvious. I guess is a word that I want to use. You know what I mean? Like that.
All
I
right,
don't know.
so I know none of you guys read Deathstroke Inc.
Nope.
I don't know.
So
I'm
I'm
not.
gonna spoil a little bit. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Um, in this week's issue of, because it came out this week also, of Deathstroke Inc.
Mhm.
At the end, when he takes over this secret society and he's King Deathstroke, he's sitting on the throne, whatever. Um, in the background, you see in the shadows on top of like a building is Respawn and I can't think of her name.
Ravager.
Ravager?
Ravager.
Oh,
After they leave in Robin, they're in this book now, like
okay.
directly after, and they're
Oh,
like, "Oh, this always happens, when he goes crazy." Like, and then reference something about his kids, like that he
Mm-hmm.
is one of the kids. He's got to be. And in this book before there was a Prometheus was making him and Black Canary see like these realities, perfect realities in their mind. And
Okay.
in his perfect reality, he was this awesome superhero with all his kids that are also superheroes, and all his kids were there.
I don't think this whole Alfred bringing him back to life will lead to Shadow War. I think it's gonna go Shadow War and then go back to that storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Most likely.
I want there to be a Robin crossover with Task Force Z because they just brought back Bane again, and I want Robin to lose his shit. And be like, "There's a Bane zombie," and just start beating the crap out of just like how you guys aren't reading it. At one point, when Bane gets enough of Lazarus resin, which they mentioned in this Robin issue, they mentioned Task Force Z.
Yeah.
Yep.
He gets enough that he's able to like kind of
Function.
conversate and
Yeah.
function. And he apologizes to Red Hood
Yep.
Why?
about Alfred,
About
Why
Alfred.
would he apologize though? Like,
because he knows that he took these guys like other father figure away,
but it's just
and
I
he
don't know.
feels
It just doesn't seem right. Like he's a villain.
I,
That's like the Joker apology. Oh,
I,
you know what? I'm so sorry. I killed.
I was gonna say,
His
I'm
son.
not gonna lie. That was a pretty jarring scene where I went, "What? I don't know.
Why
This is
would he
kind of
apologize?
weird." But I
If
don't
he
know.
had like a
it
whole
feels bad
moment
because
or
I don't
arc,
think Bane. I think Bane realized, because when he was killed by Joker, he kind of realized that like everything was his fault and like he messed up, and these guys are now like getting a chance, like they have to do hero work to regain their lives.
Yeah,
I don't know,
but
man. I'm not gonna agree
I
that
don't know.
that's a conversation for another day for sure.
Yep.
But I
Well,
just don't think
Jason
Bane.
Todd gets to kick him off a building. So
What's your number one?
my number one, we're going in. It's the big boy. It is Supermassive.
Wow, interesting. All right.
So
Me, okay, go for it. Go for it.
so the big reason why is that you
Mhm.
guys know I build up, like I hate when things don't live up to the expectations of the hype that I build. When people talk and whatever, I love the Radiant Black series. I helped fund the Kickstarter for Infernal Girl Red with Carlos.
Yep.
I've been waiting for that. I can't wait for
So
that.
excited.
And I've been very excited for Rogue Sun, which is being written by Ryan Parrott, who is the current writer of Power Rangers,
Power Rangers.
which I just caught up with his series. Right. So I think it's so cool that Kyle Higgins, the man who started the Power Rangers reboot through Boom, now has his own universe on Image and is bringing the current Power Rangers writer in to join the universe. I just think that's so creative and so interesting. And this story surpassed anything I could have imagined. It was fun. It was funny. Only downside I thought was that they didn't really reference the other Radiants. I didn't like how he's always like, "Well, I'm gonna be alone." You're not gonna be alone. You have a whole team. But
Yeah.
besides the point, that's the only plot hole I saw. It was cool. It was fun. I liked the future visions. I liked the villain that they had to fight. Like I was like, oh, it's one of my guys. And oh, that's one of my guys. And then they fused, and oh, that's our guy. I really enjoyed it. It felt like one of those like one-off like monster of the week, like a Power Rangers episode,
Mm-hmm.
like an original like Mighty Morphin like original series, where like this thing comes and they're like, oh, we have to team
Yeah.
up, and then the monster becomes this out of
Bigger
control thing.
thing,
We gotta
yeah.
get our powers back. It was nostalgic without having any nostalgia to it. It just felt fun and
Okay,
unique,
that makes sense.
and it was a huge book. It was a lot of information packed in there. And I'm very excited for for that hardcover to come out. I'm excited for next week when Rogue Sun comes out.
Mhm.
I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. That was my number one pick of the week, guys.
Dude, like I honestly really enjoyed the issue, for a lot of the reasons that you mentioned, um, and I am extremely surprised. But ultimately, I ended up coming out a little underwhelmed, and and let me
Second
explain to
that.
you why. I think I think it's because I was looking at it, and being a little too critical, and not just enjoying the fact that we have all these awesome heroes, finding each other and then teaming up. And I think what ended up where it started throwing me off was when Marshall was like, "Rogue Son, like you're awesome, I love you." It felt a little, weird
But like that
because
fits the personality of being this nerd movie geek.
no,
Like,
no, 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 no. That's not at all what like threw me off. It's very in character for Marshall. I just mean that I was under the impression that in this Radiant Black universe there are no other heroes, right? We're what? We're like 13, 14 issues or something like that into
Yeah.
Radiant Black. And I get that there's a lot of stuff, that happens in that world, and that Rogue Sun is different, and this is how they're trying to, bring him in, I guess. But I'm just saying, it just felt a little jarring that before the Radiants were here, there's been this like other superhero, you know what I mean, with like an awesome suit, and he's been operating for like years, and he's taken down all these other monsters, and you know what I mean. So it was just a little jarring, and the setup kind of again surprised me a little bit.
yeah, but you know what?
But again,
Thought of it. I thought of it because think about how quickly he developed the rogue gallery. Right, all these villains just started popping up so quickly with all these powers and these suits so fast. Right.
absolutely, and
So I
again,
assumed that there had to be something that already existed.
that's what I'm saying. I think that I started looking at it, and being a little bit too critical at that point. Um, and then how they all just kind of again created this like team, and Cassia ended up showing up, and the explanation to why she's there and that she's from another dimension totally makes sense. Again, it just all felt a little rushed, for me. That's not to say that the art wasn't amazing, because dude, the art was great. The
Yeah.
fight scenes were badass. The monster fusion, amazing. All of them transforming and with their catchphrases, except for Marshall turning into Radiant Black. He was just silent, and I thought that was hilarious because he doesn't have like a Radiant Black Go or whatever.
How do you guys feel about that flip open four-page spread?
That was cool. That was
Dude,
awesome.
yeah, I'm telling you, the book looks beautiful. Again, I just think that I'm being a little too critical. And the other thing too that kind of threw me off is that we got introduced to the Rogue Sun character. That, I mean, I wouldn't say this is a spoiler alert, because this is mentioned in the preview and in the synopsis for the actual Rogue Sun title. But the Rogue Sun that we meet here is the father of the main character in the upcoming story that is gonna die, and that his son is gonna take over the role. So
Yeah.
I get that maybe they introduce him to give us some backstory into who this like Rogue Sun character is, but I don't know. I again, I think that I was just being a little bit too critical. But what I will give praise to and what does have me hype, like mentioned Nick, is all of those flash forwards or like possible futures where all three characters see, you know, these crazy events that are going to happen in their respective stories and in their respective with their respective villains, or in terms of Inferno Girl Red in her own universe, which gives you something to look forward to, right? It makes you it makes you be excited for what's going to happen. And the last thing that I'll say on this is that my favorite part was by far Inferno Girl Red, Cassia. Like she's cool, man. Like I immediately took to her.
She came off really innocent, very like eager to learn.
Yeah.
She's definitely not the veteran hero, but she's also not like a new person.
Yeah.
I did like her a lot too.
Yeah, and she's not a pushover. You know, you see those, you know, bright-eyed, wide-eyed, like I want to do good, you know, and yeah, she's just she gives me Miss Marvel vibes, like early on, if that kind of makes sense, you know. I guess. But yeah, that's how I feel about Supermassive, man.
I think it's also cool that she's also gonna get her own Power Ranger squad kind of thing. Like that's what she saw in the future. The only one that doesn't really have it is the Rogue son. So I mean that kind of makes sense. All right, Carlos, what's your number one?
So my number one is for this week is actually Black Widow, number 14. Dude, I have been loving Black Widow since issue number 1, and it's only been like getting better and better and better. And this week, it finally won out. It wasn't number 3, it wasn't number 2. This issue and the story that's been building up came. It's almost coming to a climax with this issue, and basically Natasha is going up against a new foe, or at least a new foe that we've never seen before. Named the Living Blade, and we've always known Natasha as being like absolutely fearless, man. You know, she runs head into danger, but this new villain has been testing her, and we've seen the tension, the fear that she has, and that's rare for us to really see coming from Natasha. And in this issue, the narration that she goes through, her inner thoughts and the doubt that she has, Kelly Thompson did a wonderful job of portraying a very vulnerable Natasha, but still, feeling like that even though she doubts herself, even though she has these fears, that at the end of the day, she's a hero and she is gonna do what she can and what she needs to do to take down this villain. And it's great too seeing that she comes to the realization that it's not just her, that she needs her team and the people that are on her side. So that includes Anya, Yelena, pretty much everybody that's involved in this book. And the action, and again, the tense scenes that we get, the pacing, all of that, it's just a perfect book. And a lot of times when you have like 5-6 issues building towards something, when you get towards the end, you're kind of underwhelmed, right? Because it's hard to finish a story arc, or start finishing a story arc. But in this case, Kelly Thompson has just been building the intensity, and every issue has been getting better and better and better. And this was a perfect issue for me. I have to give a huge shout out to Elena Casagrande. She has been the artist. This really is I want to say in my top 5 books in terms of art. Every action sequence, it's genius. You see the detail in like every punch that's thrown, every kick that's turned, every emotional beat from every character. It's a stylish book. I just love it, man. It's a perfect issue. And if you still haven't jumped on Black Widow, like I am always trying to make the case for this book. And yeah, man, this is a perfect book. Which is funny because you had, Captain Marvel as one of your top picks, and that it's just, and we mentioned it's been a good book. Dude, Black Widow is just it's been a nearly perfect run for me. And I think that Kelly Thompson, she just deserves credit, man, for what she's doing with her books, and you can tell that she really loves the character of Natasha, and not just Natasha, every character that she's writing. The dialogue is again witty, it's smart. She cares about her books, man, and you see that coming, out in every page. So yeah, Black Widow number 14, man, my number one pick. It was enjoyable.
Very, very rare that Nick outdoes you on the top threes. That's crazy. What a
You
crazy week.
you
What a-
can't even judge because Manny is
but I did.
refusing to read this book on some kind of principle, and he's just hurting himself. I think that he's just jaded that he didn't start from mission number one, which is
He
understandable. But
doesn't read garbage books. Carlos, stop trying to feed us trash.
bro,
Also, I think it's the
Take
Adam
your drunk
Hughes.
goggles off.
It's the Adam Hughes covers. I'm not a fan of him. And while he's not doing anything with the story or anything like that, those covers, man,
Manny,
I
you
can't
can't
get
talk
past.
about you can't talk about covers, man, with some of the stuff that you put in your boxes, man. Like,
That was
bro,
old Manny. All right,
sit
this is
down.
new Manny.
Nah,
All
let's
right,
get
I
on to
grew
this
up.
next segment because I got some shit to say, Manny. You're gonna get kicked off the show by the end of this.
All right, so this next segment is disappointments. Everything that may have disappointed you in
My
during the
disappointment
week.
every week is Manny's tasting comics.
So this week, we actually got the Red X reveal, and I will say I did call it. Nick, you asked me who do you think it was, and I told you that the only person it could be, logically, is this
Brick.
person, and I was right. But I'm mad that I was right.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with you on that.
it was
100%.
just disappointing, and then it was overshadowed, and then it's like a new mystery. So that was stupid.
Yo,
Teen
spoiler,
Titans
spoiler, spoiler,
Academy.
spoiler, spoiler. Who is it? Because I'm not reading it.
It's
Spoiler,
Brick.
You're not
spoiler,
reading
spoiler.
it. You're not
Huh?
reading it. So you don't know who it is.
Brick.
It's some kid
You don't know
named
who
Brick.
Brick is.
Oh, so just some kid, brand new
Yeah,
character.
it's one of the
Yeah.
new kids.
Well, it was teased the whole time that was one of the students.
Yeah. So
Okay.
But so he's now the fourth Red X, and then they bring first off they make one of the Brat Packs that doesn't speak at all. He does all this explanation out of nowhere. He hasn't spoke the entire series, and this guy now starting. Yeah, so this is the reason why this or that.
it was
What?
just bad.
It was
This whole
weird.
story had everything.
And then
all
the
over
other
the
Red
place.
X, the second Red X shows up. That was annoying. Now Brick is dead. Freaking Nevermore's dead. Like Shazam's gone. He's in another reality.
I don't think Nevermore is dead.
They brought him to heaven.
Yeah, I don't think he died, but he went to heaven. That's weird.
Hey,
He's
and
a demon, and he went to heaven.
and
Yeah.
I know that I'm not reading it, but I did hear the news, and I'm just curious. Does this also kind of play into your like disappointment that it was all of this to for you like buy the books and this mystery to just be pushed, and then isn't the title
There's
canceled
like
now?
stories.
Yeah,
There are
the title's
5
canceled
stories
after
going
15.
on. There's like 5 stories going on right now in Teen Titans Academy, and that's part of the disappointment is pick a story. Like just
And the
you're putting
problem is
too much.
this whole Red X thing.
And they
has
canceled it,
been-
right?
Yeah. The whole Red X thing has been the
Main thing.
future
Future state.
future state story that they just can't escape from. Just
Okay.
it's 10 plus issues, and we're still going back to that, even though they did some cool shit with bringing back Roy Harper. And they were doing overlap with the Flash, and that was really cool. The Shazam miniseries was interesting, but then they just used that to ruin everything else.
So is this your
they couldn't
disappointment
let
as
this Red
well?
X thing go.
Is this your disappointment as well, or do you
No.
have something else?
Oh no, I got
Yeah, it's
heat.
your turn.
Go for it, man.
My disappointment is, like I said, it's Manny. Villains for Hire was fucking trash, dude.
Really?
Story was great. Story was amazing.
So that's why it was the top three.
Wait, what?
No,
Story is a top 3 story.
the artwork was so bad that it doesn't deserve to exist.
Oh yeah, that I will agree with.
So I had to go back while in the middle of reading this. I put it down. I had to check and make sure that this was this. I was like, oh, it's a different artist. It's got to be a different artist. It is the same artist as issue 1, and issue 1's art was not anywhere in this realm
Yes, it
at
was.
all.
I think it was. I think it was just bad art. I've been thinking it's bad art, but
I
because
didn't think it was this bad. First
whatever.
off, all the other tie-ins we've had, all the other visual showings of this team, right? U.S. Agent has not been wearing the head mask that he's wearing in this issue.
Mhm.
He's drawn terribly. He looks like a fool. Let's be honest. I'm a huge Ben Reilly fan. I'm the same way with U.S. Agent. I grew up reading West Coast Avengers or Avengers West Coast when he was on the team. I love the character. I love what he stands for. I enjoy him. He's a different weird version of a character that everyone else likes.
You just
I
love
love
these
U.S.
beat
Agent.
boomers, man.
I love it. I love it. The art here was terrible. Story was great, but my disappointment of the week was this artwork was so
I'll agree.
bad.
I'll
It was
100%
it was
agree.
one of the worst looking books that I've ever read.
Yo, that's a bold claim, man. I look.
No, it really was. I read the first couple. I opened the first couple pages. I'm like, this has got to be some kind of joke, right? I'm like, I really paid. I paid money for this.
Man.
I was so upset.
Damn.
I don't even want to finish the series because if the artwork's going to be continue to be
one
this
more
bad,
book. Just one more book,
it's
man.
not worth it.
Oh.
Yo,
Well, you know what? When it comes out, guys, I bet you it's going to be my disappointment of the week.
my disappointment for the week is a lot less personal and a lot more general. And mine really is with solicitations, man, for May. Both DC and Marvel, because typically when there's like one or the other where the solicits aren't good, at least the other one has some pretty good stuff that I'm excited for, something that I'm gonna add to my pool, something to get hyped about. But Marvel and DC solicits, man, for May, they just aren't doing it for me. There really is like no books that I'm adding that aren't already gonna be on my pull list, which I guess is a good thing for my wallet, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
They
it's just, I don't
heard
know,
that you were going to pay too many taxes this year, and they said, "Oh, can't put anything out."
But yeah, man, there just really isn't anything that's got me, dude, I can't wait for May. And typically there is, like I mentioned, but it's just gonna be really the stuff that's gonna be on my pool. So I'm hoping that we get some surprises, and I'm hoping that my indie books pull through, man, and that there's some fun stuff that comes out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. My disappointment for the week.
I can see that. It is kind of disappointing, but at the same time,
I'm
I
okay
am
with
very
it. My wallet is
Again, exactly for the wallet, man. It's good. It's
we
good
have
for the
enough titles that are out right now. A lot of things that are early in their
We do,
issue
though.
numbers
We do.
that it's fine. We don't need a lot of new things every month.
Yeah, no, you're right. And again, that's why it's it's just very general. It's really the only thing where it's like, well, it kind of sucks, but yeah, it is what it is, man.
So now we're gonna get into our covers of the week, and
Yeah.
I'm really happy that today I am the man in the top left corner. If you haven't noticed, we do switch around who does the host and all that stuff, and a lot of the times Carlos gets to steal my thunder and says things that I want to say, and then today I get to say it first. So
Damn
my
it!
cover of the week is Silk #2 variant by Mock. It's just beautiful. It's the color. Everything about this book is amazing, and everything that needs to be said is said right now, and Carlos doesn't need to say anything anymore. No, this is definitely my favorite cover. Just her, like, just sitting there. What is it, like a fountain drink, like a milkshake?
Like an ice cream sundae, kind of
Yeah.
like ice cream sundae smoothie,
She's
kind of
chilling.
thing.
I think it's honestly the shade of orange / yellow in the background. That's the majority of it. That's what really
Yeah.
catches my eye. So I loved it.
Nick, gotta skip you because I want to weigh in. I'm sorry, I gotta weigh in.
That makes
There
sense.
there is more stuff to be said, and I want to say that it's a perfect cover, and
Oh, good.
I agree with you, Manny. It's perfect cover, dude. I love it, and the fact that she's got all this food around her, it's just
It
Nick.
was, and it's upsetting that Nick, you're not saying it's your cover of the week either. But whatever.
No, I'm not, because my cover of the week was Robin with Francis
Another
Manifold's.
good one.
That's a
Yeah.
So
great
I've
cover,
been
man.
collecting. I think I only missed the first like 2 or 3 covers that he did. So since
So
what
all
is
of
it?
them.
Those are
No.
all all Robin variants right there.
This is issue 11, and I've only missed like the first 2 or 3 that he did. So since issue 1, he's done a cover for every single issue. So I've been collecting them since I realized that it was a set.
Mhm.
And this one has been the first one where there's more than one character, I think. Yeah. And
Oh no, yeah, you're right. That he's done, right? Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I
That
just
he's done.
double checked.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think my favorite one so far besides this one was Hawk. But this was beautiful with Batman and Talia. It played into Talia being like a big role in this issue. I really enjoyed that. I like how he's all like blacked out, she's wearing all white, and the whole yin yang thing, even though like they're like the opposite in real life.
Yeah.
Dude.
I do like that his suit is current to what his suit is in the Joshua Williamson run. That was really cool too. But Francis
Well, this is
Manifold,
all it makes sense because he's also Williamson.
yeah,
He's writing both, which I think is crazy that he's about to do an event and he's right that's going to cross over and he's writing both those books.
Well, dude. Well, I mean, we've said it. DC only has 2 writers. Like that's it.
Tom Taylor.
Oh
and
wait. We said 3 now because they got Chip. That's right.
Chip Zdarsky.
Speaking
But
of
Chip's
Tom
bouncing
Taylor,
between them.
we didn't
Huh?
we didn't do the Tom Taylor today. No
Oh,
track.
Dude,
That's 2.
did he not make it?
He missed.
he didn't make it.
Man, he sucks. What a
Did he?
oh,
Oh, Dark
up,
Ages.
man. No.
Yep.
Our last
Dark-
thing to wrap all of this up. What are we looking forward to next week? I think we've all pretty much have said that we're looking forward to Rogue Sun. But on top of that, I would have to say that I'm looking forward to Moon Knight crossover that I could list over and over. But Moon Knight, I think, is probably the top that I'm looking forward to.
Definitely for me, cover wise, the one I'm most excited for that I'm trying to get, I told Manny earlier, is the Alien Ratio by Jagona Yoon.
You definitely said that right.
I think did I say it right?
I don't know.
There's I mean the only ones that I think you're maybe trying to say is the only ones that I know is Ji Hyun Lee, which is dope, or the other one is
the last name is Yoon, Yoon. You know, I don't know. Amazing ratio cover. That's what I'm really excited trying to get next week. But besides that, story wise, I'm really excited for issue 2 of She-Hulk because issue 1 was phenomenal.
it was great.
Obviously, we talked about Rogue Sun, and then Hellcop is probably going to round up what I'm really excited for.
Okay, cool. For me, man, I gotta say that I'm super excited. Obviously, again, Rogue Sun, She-Hulk, great first issue. But I'm excited for the return of Nice House on the Lake, man.
Oh yeah, that is coming.
So that because I'm just dying to see what's like gonna happen. And very close. Second is Moon Knight, because dude, Moon Knight's been one of my favorite series. But we've had a pretty good hiatus from Nice House on the Lake, so I gotta say that's my most anticipated book, just because I haven't had that excitement and that storyline in a while. So that's my number 1 pick.
Nice. Well, with that, we're done. Thanks, guys, for watching.
Thank you.
Of course, make sure you stay tuned for next week. We're going to update our brackets, and next week is the end of the month. So we're going to tell you basically January versus February. It's still early in the year, so it's not going to be too great. But we are going to have an updated of what was our top book for February. And then, of course, again, subscribe, like, follow us on Instagram and all that stuff. All that great things, and leave your comments. We would love to read them.
Absolutely.
And that's pretty much it.
Thanks, everybody.